All right, guys. So today, RT Life did a topic on his worst mod, or a mod he was disappointed in. And he talked about his cold air intake. And frankly, I can't disagree with that at all. From a cost to performance ratio, it's pretty pricey. Most of them are $300, $400, some of them are $500. And the horsepower that you gain from them, I don't think outweigh the cost of the intake. Now, I agree that it has a very nice aesthetic appearance in the engine bay. That's awesome. And they sound awesome. But are they really worth it? And I've gone down the road of doing an eBay $99 cold air intake on a Charger, as well as the Volant Intake, which is the same thing as the Corsa intake. And in both instances, I was unfortunately disappointed. And with the Volant Intake, I was more disappointed with the air intake temperatures than anything. I think from like a more exposed intake standpoint, they probably do a lot better than a completely open, exposed intake, the Mopar or a K&N or something like that. I'm sure that they perform from an air intake standpoint much better than those. But the one thing I was really disappointed in, generally speaking, were the air intake temperatures. On a hot summer day, I'd be pushing 150, 160 degrees. And when you compare that to the air intake temperatures that you get out of a stock intake, they're going to be a lot higher. Now, granted, you're going to be able to flow more, and it's going to be a more efficient airflow into the intake. But when it becomes that hot, you start losing performance. So now I want to talk about my $99 true cold air intake that I got from eBay. It was through a company called Chrome Intakes, and it consisted of rubber elbows, 3.5-inch pipe throughout, and this intake actually went to the wheel well like a true cold air intake would. And I was very underwhelmed by the performance of this intake. And the primary reason of why it performed so poorly were the rubber elbows that were in that intake system. They would get warm and very pliable, and they would actually compress under a wide open throttle. So it would just decrease the cavity inside that intake, and it would kill performance. And I did a couple variations of it because the way that it was cut, you could turn it into a true like short ram intake, and I was also able to do a 90-degree turn down into where the stock air box is, and try doing it that way. All things, it turned out terrible. And I did a post on chargerforums.com, and here's a couple of the snapshots from my post, and actually pretty funny but very accurate, unfortunately. And I would say that was definitely my worst mod, my worst waste of money, and my biggest disappointment when it comes to any modification that I've done on my car. As you can see in my posts, my 0 to 60 time went from 5.4 seconds on an 80-degree day, and this was with my 2013 all-wheel drive RT. My 0 to 60 times went from 5.4 down to 6.5 with this intake. So most of it was heat related. but it was also just design related as well. And every time I've gone down the aftermarket intake route, I've always found my way back to the stock intake as being the best option. So just wanted to share that topic with you guys, and kind of expand on RT Lifes a little bit. So with that, guys, have a good rest of the weekend if I don't post this on Monday, and I will chat with you guys later. Take care.
Went back to stock, including the air silencer, and I could not be happier. I feel like I am driving a Prius, but it's a much faster one. The intake and exhaust sound was awesome with the KI, but it hurt performance so much that I had to shelve the KI and SRI ideas. The KI outperformed the SRI by quite a lot, but dead nuts stock is way better, as many have previously reported. Just thought I would do a full review and educate the people who are willing to read that chances are eBay intakes do not outperform your stock setup. It's not even close. I bet this applies to many other brands of intakes as well. The main downfall of this intake are the elbows, and it could use a bigger filter. Maybe a 6 or 7 inches cone K&N would be a better match. If supplied with decent quality silicone elbows and filter, I am sure this would perform okay. These elbows are flimsy and, like other have posted, probably decreased to 2.5 inches or something under what? I will add that the tubes are very high quality and are cut perfect to fit. If you just got the cheap filter, $60-ish for the intake shipped, and spend another $60 to upgrade the elbows and filter, this will probably perform pretty decent. I went back to stock, and with less than 3-4 miles on the odometer since going back to stock, I destroyed the performance of the KI and SRI setup. Here are my comparisons to 40 miles per hour. DAs are about the same on both. It's been cool here since I have had the KI setup.